All right, so number 9 is, what's it like when your type 1 starts dating?
Okay. Dating is pretty much like just hanging out with friends or kind of any social situation that you're in. Danica, she doesn't hide that she checks her blood sugar. She doesn't hide that she boluses, for her food, and we'll talk and answer questions freely. And that's just what she's been doing as far as dating as well. So I think dating is in basically any social situation. I do want to say though that I kind of see it as a gift, and we kind of talked about this when you were in high school. People who can look beyond, any different thing about another person, and look at who the person is other than, kind of physically limitations like that. Those are the keepers, so you can, weed out the bad ones.
By being open about it. Yeah,
yes.
Definitely. Don't hide it. It's not worth it.
No.
So number 10 says, my 12-year-old daughter just started pumping, and I have become quite freaked out about the possibility that DKA can happen in a matter of hours. I just can't stop worrying about it. Can you or your mother help ease my fears?
Oh, sure. Yeah. That is one of the things about pumping, that you can get ketones faster because you're only working on fast-acting insulin. So that is definitely one of the the risks, I guess, or one of the non-downsides. Yeah, pumping. Yeah. The thing is, is if you're truly managing your diabetes, and you are aware and doing what you need to do, that's just not really something that you need to be worried about as far as diabetic, ketoacidosis, as far as DKA. If you're in the 200s, 300s, for a couple times checking all the way through the day, that's a time to check for ketones. And, of course, ketones are the first sign that, the first step before you would go into DKA. So, truly, if you're aware and looking at it, even though they could go into the first stages maybe of DKA, that's not what's going to kill you. You're still aware of what's going on, and you see the ketones and you correct for the ketones, and if there are any ketones, you're checking again later to make sure that they've gone down, or you've done something about that. If you're correctly managing your diabetes, then that's not something that you have to worry about at all. So, and truly, if you've been seeing ketones for a couple of days, or they're sick, you've got your healthcare professionals that you're 24 hours a day you can call, and you can even bring them into the hospital. But that's not something that, from experience, I know that you even have to be concerned about. We would have days where she'd have colds, and we'd be checking for ketones because she was running high, and we were giving extra insulin, and we'd check, and the first few times, of course, I called the doctor, and oh my gosh, she's got ketones, and that's perfectly fine. But as long as you're managing and looking at it, to me, that's not something that's like a huge concern. If you are high for a week and you're not checking for ketones, you're going to end up at the hospital. So, honestly, I know, and there's so much that you worry about as a parent for the kid, but that is, not one of your major. And actually, I would talk to your doctor or your nurse educator about that, and that fear, because then they'll let you know that the kind of the time frame in there. She could probably, or he could probably, like, be high for even 3 days with that. It's something to be concerned about, but if you're vigilant and your diabetes care, I think you're good. What do you?
Yeah, I've had a pump for 6 years. I almost said months. Years. And so wow. I've never been in the hospital for DKA ever. I've had ketones, but that's pretty normal. So I haven't experienced that at all. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. Yeah. All right, last question.
Okay.
This one says, when my daughter is 300 or higher, she freaks out and she blames herself for the high. Is there any way that I can stop that or help?
Absolutely. I don't know about you or if you even remember this, but if you're a perfectionist, type 1 diabetes and perfectionism, not so much. You gotta let it go. You can do everything right. You can do everything right and you'll still go low. You can do everything right and you will still be 300. There are so many factors that go into where you are that, you know, what you do, what you have to focus on, where your focus needs to be, is taking care of everything that's within your power to take care of and letting the rest go. And I know that's easier said than done. But if she could understand that, you know, if she does A, B, and C, if she's checking her blood sugar, if she's making sure that she's within the range, if she's, you know, checking for ketones when she needs to check her ketones, if she's doing everything that she needs to do, truly, I mean, we found over time from the doctors and the educators that have helped us, is if we're doing what they told us to do, then in the end, everything will be okay. And she did great. So I guess that perfectionist attitude, you know, you kind of feel like if you try as hard as you can, you would succeed, period. That and diabetes, no. So, yeah. Yeah,
that still happens to me sometimes, actually. Like, if I feel like it came out of nowhere and I just reached that point where I'm like, really? Like, I remember before I've cried here before when I was younger.
Yeah.
Because that would happen. So, I don't know. Yeah, I guess not like acting like it's a big deal. Like, it's bad to be high, but don't like put that on her. Like, oh, this is a bad number. Just say like it's out of range. Like, we used to call it testing blood sugar. But now we call it checking blood, or now, a long time ago, we changed to calling it checking. So it's not so much as if you like passed or you failed it, it's more just like checking to see how you are, and then you can fix it once you know how you are, so.
Exactly, that's a good point.
Yeah. All right, so that's all the questions. I want to thank my mom for being here.
I am so honored.
Yeah, it was really fun. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.
Thank you, bye. Nice to meet you guys.
Let me clear my throat.